pouring concrete up there.
And I
Doesn't
know,
that thing look awful long?
Yeah,
I'm just trying to envision, it must go under the road.
Both roads.
And then 2 ramps or something.
yeah, I don't.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't gone up that way lately.
it's, God damn, it's long. I was over on the new road and they were working on the overpass of 4, and there was activity there last week. Went to Fort Dodge for a meeting at the end of the meeting.
When I was over there, they had dug the base of the big rectangular hole squared off that was dug in on the west side of the road. So by now it probably poured.
Fun thing to fly over it. You know, once a week, fly from early Highway 4 just to see all the
Change.
dirt.
Yeah, progress.
A lot of diesel fuel. They get all that stuff moving. So, you know, they lined up. They got more stuff, I think, lined up over here than they had like wood.
Oh, really?
I mean, some of that stuff they just brought in.
Well, there's a lot to do.
10 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Minutes of the last meeting.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carried. Any deletions or additions to the
I
agenda?
don't have anything to add.
None, need a motion to approve the agenda.
Also move.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carried. Canvass you to go on through our special election.
We have,
This is gonna probably take the rest of the morning.
yeah, order up for lunch. These are the tally books sheets from that election. That's the absentees. This is the item, or the Arthur precinct and the Oroville precinct. And that's all there is. It's a simple yes or no on whether or not to continue the instructional support levy.
Which one do you want first?
Whoever feels like talking.
I have Odie special school, and there are 206 yes votes and 22 no votes.
I've got Arthur. There's 2. One's totaled up, there's 45 yes and 7 no. And these, did they start on the wrong line? These numbers down here?
Evidently, because the 45 and the 7 are the,
Yeah,
what they
that's right, same deal.
reported
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, that's right.
And the absentee, looks like it's 64 yes, 10 no, and 2 questionable, or questions.
And we resolved those, so that's, they've been taken. That's it. Oh, and
Good
then
job.
you need to sign this abstract.
We'll go down below and start with the Board of Health appointments.
We can do that?
You have the list.
Yes. Those are the 3 names that were.
I'm active on the Board of Health, and we have 3 openings this time, and in the past, Pat Larson, Dr. Peck, and Deb Gosh have served. We've had some difficulty in getting a quorum to actively do our business. Deb Gosh has quite often had conflicts with her employment. She's been a good member, but it's been difficult for her to participate, so I would move to appoint Pat Larson, Dr. Peck, and Sally Lines.
Second that.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carried. Those three names will be appointed.
Who else is on that board?
I serve as a member from the Board of Supervisors, and Marshall Fox from Odebolt is a veterinarian, so there are 5 of us.
Response to the audit report?
We got this back from our CPA firm, Huntsman and Putsier, actually the day before, a week ago yesterday. I have a rough draft of the audit report if you want to look at it in depth. These are the comments at the end of the audit where he found items of concern, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I've prepared a response to each one of his comments. Most of those are repeats every year. The segregation of duties issue and some of those things. He talks about our inventory of fixed assets, and we've not done that in detail simply. It takes a lot of time and a lot of money to get it initiated, and it really doesn't jeopardize our.
Does nothing for us that I can see.
So
And that first one is about on every single audit that the people put out, just about word for word, the ones
Yes,
we get at
yeah.
some of the other organizations,
And I can
boards I'm
remember
on.
when we had our audit report done through the state auditor's office, those same comments were there then, you know. We just don't have the staff, and we do, you know, this comment is pretty standard. The response is just as standard as the comment. We do make every effort to segregate those duties so that there is no, to minimize the chance of fraud.
Number D there, letter D, we've had discussion, it seems like on a regular basis, about our vacation and our comp time, and
Did I give you a list of those names?
yeah,
Of the employees that are in,
and we've got a situation where it seems like some of the same ones are coming back, that they're not using their vacation time, and I think we need to have that discussion as far as how we're going to handle it and how we're going to move forward.
I think, you know, there's a couple of employees that have accrued more comp hours than are allowed by the policy. And I think we can make a change on our payroll software where when it gets to that level, we can just automatically pay them if they're not gonna take.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, they're just barely over, and
Yeah.
and we keep getting written up for it, and if they're not electing to use those in advance, they should just be paid the next payroll and have it taken care of.
Isn't the union, if you get up to that comp time, you don't use it, you lose it?
Yes, and the same way with their vacation time as well. And it's actually written
that way in our non-union personnel policy, that probably should be, that language should be strengthened a little bit maybe.
The comp time is a very, very small issue. I mean, we've got 1.7 hours in one spot and 4 in another, which I think those, again, we need to tell the department heads, we're just not gonna have that happen. It shouldn't be happening. The accrued vacation situation, that's a different story, and that several of those are way over. And we've had 2 of them are actually from the secondary roads department, and we had that discussion with the engineer probably twice. And I think we need to have that again today and direct him as to how we're gonna take care of it. Our policy has been, there's a maximum of 160 hours, and then with the approval of the supervisor, we've allowed 1 week with the approval of the department head to be carried forward, which would really allow a maximum of 200 hours under those circumstances. We've got one with 250, we've got one with 421, and a third with 229. So.
I had a brief conversation with our CPA yesterday, and he asked me about that one in particular. He asked me if I had any questions about any of the comments, and I said no. And he then asked if the board had had a chance to do anything about this accrued vacation and comp time thing, and I said no. It's on the agenda for today. I prepared comments or responses to the comments, and that they'll look at them and we'll discuss them and change them and approve them however they see fit. But he indicated that this one in particular needs to be addressed, resolved before June 30th, because after that date, any changes in payroll and FICA and IFRS will affect the payout if that's indeed how you decide to handle it. So,
and with
we're
that,
already we're paying. If we pay it out now, we're paying it at a rate higher than it was earned.
and that's the big trouble he has with that, which is a legitimate
huge liability.
Vicki, how are
Do
you
you
doing?
want to approve those comments so I can get that done?
You need to, I'll make a motion
Thank you.
that we approve the responses that have been prepared by our auditor in regard to our audit report, or our audit.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carries.
I think we need to continue this conversation when the engineer's here.
Yeah,
Yes.
and what about public health? Do you have a meeting?
We just had our quarterly. I'll contact her. I mean, I think whatever we do here will want to be consistent.
Yeah.
And so when we have that conversation, I will forward that to her. So. Vicki?
Hi. We sent out delinquent notices, and we came to this one that we knew was gonna have to be abated again this year. It used to be in Douglas Cable. I don't know if you remember that or not. We've abated those. Well, now it's in Telepartners LLC. But we need to abate those. I just had board meeting minutes that showed that we knew that there was gonna be another one coming up for this one. That we were gonna have to do the same thing.
Why are these abated then?
Because it used to be a building on leased land, and now it is not. This is actually, Bob came up and told us it was gonna go into this Telepartners instead of Douglas Cable. And there's no way for us to get those back. You know, there's nothing to, like on a tax sale, there's nothing to go get.
It's,
Is this the
anytime
one
they,
over at Litton that we talked about before?
It is, yes.
We talked about that one
Yeah,
before.
yeah, it was in Douglas Cable.
It's a building
Right,
that's on city property, but it's not owned by the city, the
right,
well, it's,
property is owned.
Right.
it is owned by the city, but
The
it's
property
leased.
is, but not the building.
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
I'll move to make this abatement.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carried.
Are there two,
No, there's just one. Just that top one, this is the delinquent notice. This is
that's
just
the amount?
Yeah. And really, the original one would have been the 140, but we.
Yeah.
Oh, so-
And explain to me again, Vicki, that this has changed, and why has it changed? The name?
I don't know, why the name changed.
I mean, I thought it was defunct, dissolved, gone.
Bob could answer that better than I could.
I'll ask him, but,
Okay.
I mean, it's, if it's gone, I'm surprised someone else has
It's
put
in
their name on
another
it.
name, yeah. I can buzz in and see too.
Okay.
No, that's-
You know what, while you're up here, last time we were up, we talked about our deposits and the different
Yes.
banks in the county,
Yes.
and you're gonna look into that. And have you got anything?
Well, and how much it was.
Yeah.
I think I came up with the million, we actually had more than that, but it's not money that we can pull out because it's not really in just our fund. It's in all the funds that we have, and that's why it's kind of deceiving.
Yeah, but I did
It's
some
not something
inquiring,
that we
and
can
you can put,
take and pull out, and
Yeah.
that's why my figure is always a lot less.
yeah. And one of the questions we talked about is,
Mhm.
even though we can't pull it out,
Right.
you know, from what I understand, we could put it up for bid, put it all in one institution, and let the different banks in the county bid on the ability to receive those funds.
Did you do your history to see what your averages are? I mean, I would like to,
Okay.
that, I mean, before we
Okay,
would make any kind
Yeah,
of
okay,
decision, I
but
mean, it
it's
would
all
be nice to
insured,
see.
it's from, you know, the investigation I did, it would all be insured 100%. So we're not, I mean, if we would want to put it up for bid and leave it with one institution, it would all be insured. Yeah, we might be able to, you know, get a better rate. I think that's part of what the discussion was about, is, so,
okay.
All right,
And I'll ask Bob.
Are these
Yes.
taxes, is this something that's gonna happen every year?
That I don't know.
I would say yes, because unless something is stepped up and there's some, it's an improvement on a leased piece of property that we have no ability to go after. The interesting part of it is that there's a different name on it now,
Right,
and that part I don't understand.
so somebody else is taking over title.
Well, yeah, I mean, it looks that way, and so if someone else has assumed title, they must figure there's value,
let me
so.
ask Bob if he knows any more about it
Yeah.
too.
Because if it belongs, the building belongs to the city?
No, the land belongs to the city. The building, it's a building on leased
Okay,
land.
It's an improvement.
So if, I mean, what I'm thinking of is, well, when we had that Otis Schultz's property over there and we had that billboard on there, we were getting income off of that billboard. So it became income property, so we had to pay property taxes on that piece of property. And I don't understand why the city doesn't have to pay property taxes if they're getting, if it's a lease. I'm just questioning.
That's
I know it's a good
another
question.
Bob question.
Well, but
But I can ask
the
him.
trouble is there's no ability to pursue. You know, if there's, when we have you can't put it on the tax sale because it's not real estate,
Right,
owned real
but
estate.
it becomes income property for the city of Lytton.
If they're receiving income on, which I assume they're not, but
Well, if they're not, then that's a different story.
I'm quite sure they're not. But
Okay.
the thing that puzzles me is there's a different name on it
Yeah,
than there had been. So if they retitled it, somebody assumed it. So that, it's something that we need to check into.
I mean, it's not $140, it's the normal taxes.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Vicki.
Nancy Allen had some information on that passport issue, and she said she could come up whenever the board had a minute, so if you want to buzz her at 2:59, I think it's on there.
Nancy? Yeah, can you come up to boardroom? Okay, thank you. Yep, got it.
This is-
Doing better than yesterday.
Yeah, you are.
Thanks, that word.
You know that mechanics lien we got against the conservation center? She's got that, shows up as a remaining commitment.
Hello.
Well, man, you must ran upstairs.
No,
You got a time?
I can't run up those stairs. I get too out of breath.
Oh,
Run up
okay.
the elevator.
I should have thought of that.
Passport.
Yes. Just an update that we are not going to be able to keep passports in our office. So Jim and I have been talking, and I think they are willing to take them over, if that's okay with you guys.
Okay.
The auditor's
The auditor's.
office. They have to be accepted by the passport agency, and I believe it's just a questionnaire they have to answer. And I talked to our regional representative this morning, and it sounds like it's just a rubber stamp. And
They're okay with it, she thought that person.
he thought that there wouldn't be any problem. The auditor's office is the one that they're suggesting the passports go to.
Will you plan to do that downstairs then? As Tina has had some experience, or what are you
Well,
planning?
kind of what Nancy and I talked about is, until we're told differently anyway, we would leave the camera in the recorder's office. We would do the applications and fill out the paperwork. And then we would ask the applicant to write 2 checks, one to the passport person or to the agency, and then one to the county.
Board of
And
Supervisors
Nancy would
checks.
continue to do that part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what we
So
talked
the
about?
money would still go through the recorder's.
We're just about
Revenue.
finished, except for we have Chad Jensen.
Yeah.
We've got the last item on
And
the agenda going right now.
Will that be okay if we, physically it's, because physically it's, the camera's gonna be in a
Well,
different
just
room,
come
that's
on
just a
up
room,
anytime.
I guess.
The thing that they're concerned about is the same
Okay.
person having the ability to fill out applications for passports
Okay,
as well
thank
as
you.
birth certificates.
Yeah,
And so,
Yes? Yeah.
Thank you for working it out, because I really,
Okay.
I think we all feel it's a good asset.
Oh, I do too.
People really have appreciated it.
And I think they probably would have to travel
Okay, thank you.
a distance if it weren't kept here.
I don't think so, that's the main thing you want.
So we
Okay,
will
thank
be
you.
willing to help however we can to train and help this transition go smoothly.
and I
Sounds
think
good.
what I'll
Thank
do
you.
is, I'll probably get some training for everybody in the auditor's office, including Tina and the IT department, on how to handle these applications. have that covered.
So we had, I think the last time we had the discussion, I'd had several people express their appreciation about being able to do it in one stop.
Mhm.
And we have the equipment, and, I mean, it'd really be a
And it
bad,
is
sad
a-
situation.
Yeah.
It is a revenue source for the county as well,
Mhm.
as a convenience for those.
Then that'll go through your office as a revenue.
No, it'll
Instead of Nancy's,
continue
still
to go through
Nancy's,
recorders.
even the photographs too.
Mhm.
Thank
We
you.
think that will work anyway.
Yeah. At this point,
So-
that's how we're gonna try it.
Continue forward.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
References tax abatement, that was Vicky on the line, and that will be taken off. This is the last year, we'll see that can be taken off, according to law. So, that will not be on it anymore. This is the last time we have to do anything. Because I know we've had this come up several years in a row. And that was Ron, and Ron will be here as soon as he can get here too.
Good.
He'll probably get here about the same time as Chad.
Yeah.
Is there anything else
So
right
am I
now?
supposed to rate Chad over the coals? Or is it 6%? 4%?
We'll go into recess until somebody arrives. Either Chad or,
I'm gonna have Tina come up when Chad's here to go over those different sections of his funding request, so we
Get that
get it all in the right slot.